Hello, stunners. Welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rue Jitterrue, and I'm your diva for romance games. Yes, I'm obsessed with them. We are in the midst of playing Gilded Shadows by Steamberry Studios. That's right. Y'all, I am loving this game. It is a very futuristic sci-fi romance visual novel. It's so good. It's so exciting. Ugh. And also, it's heating up. Listen, okay. Last time we ended on a kiss. And guess where we're starting the stream today? On a kiss. Totally making out hardcore with Magnus. Why? You ask, even though we saw that last time. Because listen, okay, I'm a thirsty degenerate. Leave me alone, okay? Don't judge me. All right? You would too if you were me. So, it'll be a nice way to kind of recap what happened last time. And then we're gonna find out what's in store. I'm really hoping that Magnus doesn't betray us, you know. I know he's a red flag. I know that's in our near future. I don't know exactly what makes him a red flag. I don't know why he's a red flag. I don't know what he does for people to say, Rue, he's a red flag. But I know that much. So, let's just dive right back in and hope for the best, I guess. But yes, last time in this visual novel, I learned who I can trust and who I cannot. Plus, I felt down bad for Magnus and learned his tragic past, and then we totally made out. But tensions with the evil council are only getting worse. Will we run away? Will we stage a coup? Will we smooch some more? Oh, I hope so. Also, just FYI, this stream is intended for more mature audiences. There's nothing graphic in it. Not like that. But it's you know, more for a little bit more mature audiences. Keep that in mind. And with all of that said and out of the way, why don't we go back to kissing our man? Hi, Justana. Hello, Milky. Hello, Roxy. Hi, everybody. Hello, lurkers. So good to see you all again. Thank you for being here. Oh, hi, Magnus. Look how moody he is. I hope you don't think ill of me after all that. After we found out that you're a clone baby. That's what we found out. And he has a sad backstory. He's so isolated. His memory was wiped out by Lethe. It was bad. And there was violence. There was violence. Of course not. Why would I? Yeah, I'm not judging you for that, Magnus. None of that is your fault. Okay, you're a victim. You. It happened so suddenly. I didn't realize what he was doing until he was, well, doing it. And I couldn't say what sparked it. He leaned towards me, and the sudden feel of his lips made me freeze for a moment, half in panic, half in surprise. But I didn't pull away. One of his hands strayed to the back of my head as the kiss intensified. His mouth was insistent, but not overwhelming. It was strange to be kissing him without even time to think about what was happening, but my hands found their way to his chest, and I leaned into him anyway. Magnus pulled away for an instant. Our eyes met, and I tried to think about what to say. But without warning, Magnus pulled his glasses off and was pulling me closer again. That's so hot. This time, the force of his body sent me falling back against the arm of the sofa. He gripped my face gently, placing several light kisses to my mouth before another forceful kiss stole my breath away. Magnus captured one of my hands in his, and in the process, dropped the glasses. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I thought I had to catch them, or one of us would end up stepping on them later. Oops, we don't want that. The attempt was what caused us to separate again. And then reality hit. What were we just doing? We got lost in our passion. For a moment, we looked at each other in shock. And confronted with the sight on his face, my own went hot. I wanted to say my own heart went hot just now. My heart is hot. Magnus pulled away in a rush and sat staring straight ahead, eyes wide. He was breathing hard, his hand against his mouth, as if he just realized what he'd done. I let out a shaky breath as well. Glasses temporarily forgotten. I hadn't quite thought kissing him would be like that. Magnus stood without warning. I'm sorry. That was a poorly thought out idea. I'm not sure I should have... Excuse me. He strode to the door and left me there without another word. Wait. He kissed me? Why is he running away? Acting all embarrassed. Yeah, he was the one who kissed me, not the other way around. I stared at the closed door, stunned and still a little breathless. It wasn't like I hadn't had some inkling of growing closeness, or that I hadn't ever thought of kissing him. I suppose I was just surprised he'd been thinking the same thing. Sometimes it was so difficult to figure out what went on in his head. Why is my taste in men so weird? I understand, real. Seconds later, the door opened again. Magnus was standing there with a funny look on his face. This is my office. Did you forget for a moment, Pookie? I let out a dry laugh, pressing my palm to my forehead. Seriously, this man, I swear. Yes, I know that, Magnus. Right. He shuffled back in, and I bent to retrieve the glasses, setting them on the table. I think I'll go. It's pretty late, and everyone wants another early start. Of course. They can be relentless when they want to be. I smirked at him as I passed him on my way to the door. So can you. I leaned up and pressed a light kiss to the corner of his mouth, laughing at the way he went red to the tips of his ears this time. Good night, Magnus. Yes. He pulled me back to him for a quick hug. See, he wants more. Yes. Good night. I decided to leave it there for the time being. I had the feeling that kiss surprised him as much as it did me. Our relationship had been growing steadily closer. It was good to learn he was feeling the same thing. For now, I thought it would be best to just let things develop how they developed without rushing it. I touched 2 fingers to my lips, considering all the frustrating things happening these days. It was nice for something pleasant to happen. I just had to make sure I didn't let it distract me. Though I had a feeling Magnus might make that more difficult than I expected. He is very distracting. He usually did. And that's where we ended last time. Yes! Aren't you so glad we had to just revisit that little section? Oh my gosh. It was so beautiful and I love it. And there you go. We totally made out. Please, please, Magnus, don't betray me, okay? I love you, Pookie. Watch him totally betray me now. Alright, well, let's find out what happens. Wait a second. Huh. Oh, I guess I didn't go to the next slide before. I was like, where am I? Looks like this building is also secure. Unless you want us to go through it room by room to double check. It's like, who's talking? That's right, it's Van. I have to do the Van voice. Probably unnecessary. I think we can trust you to notice if someone was there. Anyway, it's the same on our end. We're heading to the next spot. Are they on the radio? Hold on. Let's back it up. Because I have fun things for that. Let the acting commence. Looks like this building is also secure, unless you want us to go through it room by room to double check.
Probably unnecessary. I think we can trust you to notice if someone was there. Anyway, it's the same on our end. We're heading to the next spot.
We'll do the same. See? I had to do a cool effect. I was standing in a cascade of light from the shattered window, looking up at the dust swimming lazily in the sunbeam. Somewhere I could hear the steady drip of water as I listened to Van talk over the comm. Another assignment, this time to a remote location on the day side. It differed from my expectations, given the information we'd had about what was going on here besides this place. You ready? We'll give it one more look around and then check the building next door. Sure. You okay? You look pretty thoughtful. I just never realized there were places like this out in the Asteri. Do people actually live here? It doesn't really look like a nice place to live, at least where they are at right now. Well, you saw in that little settlement. Mission report said there was some smuggling going through at the outskirts, though. I'd prefer to not have to ask questions in town. That won't go over well. I can imagine. I had no idea there were settlements like this in the tertiary domes. I'm still shocked you even heard of Asteri at all, much less that you knew as much as you did about it. You can thank my dad and brother for that. Given how self-sufficient Asteri is with their current setup, you can imagine two people in the agriculture industry were very interested. The way Asteri functions with such energy efficiency due to the sheer power of their bioregenerative life support. Oliver did some research on it before he left for Sire. That said, I knew nothing at all about smuggling rings. Well, if people knew about it, it wouldn't make a good place for a smuggling ring, would it? Endgame knows about it. We monitor it, but we can't watch everything all the time unless we want to set up permanent operations here. And then, and the neo-humans. Look, we made it clear from the start we wouldn't help with the Triad's little biosynth roundup. Places like Asteri have no problem with them, so who are we to care, as long as they don't cause trouble? Biosynths, and neo-humans in particular, aren't the problem everyone thinks they'd be. They make up a lot of the workforce here, and we never have trouble with them. Hey there, Ashbury. Welcome, you stunner. Guess what we started with? We started with hot and heavy making out. Yes, we did. They're just normal people. If they vacated, I think Asteri would be hard put to keep up production without them. I think everyone would be better off if everyone else could just live where and how they wanted. Yeah. Biosynths wouldn't be treated differently. You know how it is. Anyone a little different gets treated like some great war-torn society. If they can be a scapegoat for some other problem, even better. No fear of neo-humans because of the planetary AI's role in the Civil War makes even less sense than being upset the AI intervened to save lives. Exiling all biosynths to Erebos as a result never made sense to me. I'm glad they're finding ways to live how they want, instead of just where they're told to. Hi, Midnight! Thank you for being here, you stunner, and thank you for redeeming Treat a Pup. I have a couple of doggies who are very excited to hear those words right now. Mr. Bobo, would you like a treat, Mr. Bo? And Miss Penny? Bobo, will you sit for me? Good, sit. Okay, Mr. Bo, will you stand? Good, I'll take that. You stand again? Stand. Good boy. Here we go, Mr. Buddies. And Miss Pennydew. Miss Princess Pennydew underneath the desk. Here you go, honey. Here you go. And maybe I can kind of give you a glimpse at Penny if I do this. Let's see what you can see with the dog cam. There's trash. Hold on. She's like, right? Oh. She's, oh my gosh, I can't aim it. I can't aim. Oh, that's her face. Hi, Penny. There she is. Okay, now you can see Penny. Hi, Princess. That's a bad shot of her, but you can see her. She's there. Yes. Oh, every time they hear, hi, Midnight. Look, did you see how Bo looked at me when I just said your name? Yep. All I have to do is say Midnight, and then they know that they get all excited. All you see are eyebrows. This was a failed experiment, but this is Penny, this blob, this massive fur right here is Princess Pennydew. You feel loved? You should. You are loved. And you got to see my little trash can. Isn't that gross? Anyway. Oh, hi, Lila. Welcome, you stunner. Thank you for being here. Oh, okay. You're like, I didn't see the trash can. There is no trash can. Show it again. No, you don't get to see my trash can again. How dare. Well, thank you so much for the redeem. I'm going to give them extras because I said your name. And now they think whenever they hear the name Midnight, they want this. This is their expectation. They look cute. Did you hear that, buddy? You're cute. Here you go. And Penny, you want a spin? You can get a spin. Yes, you can. Hey, buddy. Spin. Spin. There you go. It's a very lazy, slow spin, but he still did it. It still counts. There you go, honey. And the princess. Happy dogs. Happy, happy, happy. The bestest spin ever. You know, when you have large dogs, they don't move snappy, you know? Like, Bo's 100 pounds and he has that big dog mannerisms, you know? Like, little dogs are kind of zippy. When you, you know, or medium-sized dogs even, like you ask a border collie to do a command, they're like quick about it, you know? You ask these two dogs to do a command, they're slow about it, you know? They're like, okay. And they do it, but they do it slow. And they move kind of slow and kind of clunky, you know? They're not zippy kind of dogs. Oh, you have a husky named Sky. Honestly, that's a great name for a husky. That's an awesome name for a husky. I love that. Thank you so much for that. And we're done for now, puppies, until the next time somebody redeems your favorite thing ever. And I'm sure someone will. Yes. Let us get back to our story. Well, I can see we've all already been a great influence on you. Yes, you have been a good influence on me, Van. I admit before I came to Endgame, my view of the world was a little idealistic. I was a sweet summer child once upon a time, and now I've been through some stuff. But after hiding I was an Esper all my life, I intended to go off-world to Dion, where you people would never find me. Oh, that didn't work out, did it, Rue? Sorry, girl. So it isn't as if you all corrupted a poor, innocent, and totally rule-abiding student. That you are not. I need a wicker basket? I do have a wicker basket as my trash can down there. Yep. Right. You were an absolute rebel, just waiting for the right chance to go study some crumbly old buildings. How daring! Well, we can't all be kidnappers for a living. See, we're never gonna live that one down. We will never let the boys live that down, okay? Ari, Caleb, I hope you're listening. If everyone was a kidnapper for a living, it might make life a hell of a lot more interesting. My life is interesting enough, thank you. That's real. Real right there. Life is plenty interesting for us. Thank you very much. After confirming there was nothing in that building to imply any sort of smuggling operations of any kind, we vacated it and headed to the one next door. We'd already looked through the area with Psy, but on the off chance there were any cages blocking our vision, we were doing a manual search as well. The drawing is truly excellent. Are you talking about the art of this game? I agree. I love this game's art. It's very nice, very beautiful. And we weren't coming up with anything. Whoa, this place. This isn't the same place from the beginning of the game, is it? Look, see y'all, okay, Ash pointed this out before. Let me hide the text box. If you look really carefully, you can see that the light shining through the stained glass in the ceiling is animated. Do you see that? It's the same background because you're poor and you have to reuse stuff. You know what? That's fair. Also, you know, if you have a hydroponics area, you know, and you have like, you know, you go to a hotel. If you go to a hotel that's a certain brand, they kind of all look the same. You know what I mean? So you go to an abandoned hydroponic garden greenhouse that was constructed by the same company. I bet you anything they made them all look pretty much the same. Like you go to a Walmart, they're all the same. Same concept, okay? It's perfect. Perfect, Esh. And I do appreciate and notice that the light is animated. Thank you. That's so awesome. Whoa, this place. I stood in the door, staring up at the stained glass. This reminds me of the place we went to on the day Ari and Caleb grabbed me off the street. How dare they? You reused a bathroom background from this game in When Stars Collide, and then you were joking about that being such a popular bathroom design it transcends space and time. You know what? I think once you have a few good assets, like reuse them, you know? Work smarter, not harder. Okay? I approve. I mean, a lot of them are cookie cutter designs, so I guess that's why. It was sad to see another place like this in such disrepair. This one wasn't the result of an attack, though. It clearly had just fallen into disuse. It was still beautiful, despite the broken stained glass and overgrown plants. Of course, The other one was in complete shambles already. Forget destroying the glass parts. I was pretty sure I'd ripped that entire complex apart by accident. Man, I was so pissed at Ari that day. He just found some random ass spot and carted you off after I found a place I knew was secure. How dare! I know! How dare! Ugh! Men! Men! He was worried about us being tracked, if I recall. Well, we revisited some spice, a certain kiss CG from last time. We replayed that part. But there's gonna be some more spice soon. Okay, so don't go anywhere, okay, Meryl. Also, hi, welcome, Stunner. Meryl is waiting for a certain someone to show up? A certain someone? Who could that be? Oh, it's late in your country. You think you should go to sleep now. You wish us a beautiful and happy day. Thank you so much, Lila. We appreciate you. I'm glad that we got to spend a little time together this evening and have a wonderful night's rest. I poked around the rebel a little as she ranted. Yeah, fat lot of good that did you all. True. That kid needs to leave the planning to the experts. No matter what the reports say, Van, I don't think anyone's been here in a while. Doesn't look like it. Do we have the right dome? The mission report said the ground team interrupted what they believed to be a transaction and transfer of energy weapons from Delphine. This area is supposed to be used for meeting and storage until buyers are found. But there's no one here. I may be new to all this, but I doubt anyone is just leaving crates of weapons unguarded. Right? Even Caleb was surprised that it's empty. No, you're right. But we can't just leave because it looks like no one is here. That's why we're looking around. Can't Ari just cover this entire area in his sphere and look around? I feel like we've eliminated the possibility of any side dampeners or reverse cages. I've told you before, having a large sphere doesn't mean it's easy to pinpoint things you've been looking for. You still have to look at everything individually. More so, if there are side detectors, we don't want to set them off. If there were side detectors, I already would have set them off a long time ago. Rue, what are you doing? What? Ari said it would be a good opportunity to try to push my limits and figure out my exact range. Since Asteri has a low population, it's less overwhelming to, stretch. When did he say that? Right after we got here. Exactly how far are you spreading your sphere out right now, my dear? Well, pretty far, I suppose. I tapped my finger on my chin thoughtfully. I mean, I don't have a way to measure kilometers. You've expanded your sphere several kilometers. Yes. And you've been doing it this entire time. Yes. Well, we did know you had a significant range. Still, I can't believe I didn't notice. Though I guess if my sphere is entirely inside yours, I might not. I hope you realize you're interrupting my focus. Whoa! My words cut off as a chill ran all the way through my body. Every hair on the back of my neck was standing up at once. What is it? I'm not sure. That was a weird feeling. I rubbed my arms, trying to rub away the goosebumps, though through the tight fabric. It was a bit like a... I felt it again, stronger this time, and it hit Van too. Only now I recognized the feeling. Van's eyes widened. Oh shit! Ari, get over... Threat.
I also felt it.
He and Caleb shuffled me between and behind the two of them with Van behind me. Wait, who is it? Wait, who or what is it? Who or what is it? And how come we recognize it? We felt it before? Is it that magical bum again? What if it is? It could be. It could be a magic bum. Back to back, everyone. Stay alert. How many? What's the plan? Leave or defend? At least 5. They'll follow if we leave. What's going on? Ambush, Espers. Definitely a bishop and knight among them. That's what you sensed. Oh. Oh! And they are wearing a uniform. They look like ninjas. They arrived in 2 groups, black-clad and stepping out of 2 twisting vortexes that were painful to look at. She wasn't among them, but the way they were dressed reminded me of that woman we met before. Masked faces, all black. The same people. These are the people from the beginning, right? That attacked us. There was a brief standoff, with the 6 of them hemming us in. Then one of them rushed Caleb. Not again.
Going silent. Ari, move her.
Understood.
He took my arm without further warning, and we jumped. I sensed it a split second before we stepped out of that jump that someone was there. With a startled scream, I pulled Ari back down. The foot swept through the air where his head once was.
How did they?
Bishop.
Great. So they were predicting our moves.
Once more.
This time, he was prepared as well, catching the knight's foot that was aimed for his chest. Unfortunately, the knight was not alone. A fist caught me in the jaw and sent me sprawling face first into dirt and gravel.
Rue.
They hadn't had a chance to spend a lot of time teaching me actual fighting techniques. More like Caleb just had me repeatedly wailing on a punching bag while enhancing my strength. Everything I had learned flew from my head the moment that fist made contact and a hand to my face. I scrambled away. Telekinesis wasn't something we had worked on either. But Van said it would come naturally, so as I learned to manipulate my psi, almost on instinct, I wrapped my psi around a large piece of crumbled wall and flung it at the man coming after me. He batted it away, almost like it was nothing. I staggered backwards, grabbing another. This time, I didn't throw it. I swung it like a bat, punching right through the attempt to block. It had a lot more force when I kept my psi around it the whole time. The crumbling stone block smacked into him with enough force to send him to the ground. Yeah, punch the bowl cut weirdo. Yeah, take this, okay? Take this with you and your bad haircut. Right in the face. That's what happened. Was that a nice effect? A fist right in your eyes. I had one hand still pressed in my throbbing jaw. Ari was trying to get away from the other knight, but it was almost like their abilities were canceling each other out. He couldn't seem to get away, but neither could she for the time being. I wasn't sure where the others were, or what they were doing, but that man was getting up again. I narrowed my sphere to a smaller radius, hoping that would give me enough time should someone else attack me. Yeah, just try to attack me. Come at me, bro. Come at me. I dare you. Come cross into my sphere. I'm gonna take you out, okay? Listen. I'm the most powerful Esper y'all have ever met, okay? All right? I'm a queen, okay? And I have untapped powers that I barely understand how to use. All right? I'm gonna go postal on you. I'm gonna destroy everything, okay? This whole building, it's coming down. Don't mess with me. There was rubble all around, but I was worried if I started flinging it around like Vanessa on the other side of the building, I'd hurt someone. Watching her out of the corner of my eye, her attacks were controlled, forceful, and nothing like my frantic flinging around of large rocks. I didn't have that level of skill yet. Yeah, but see, your kind of skill, girl, is more dangerous because you don't know what you're doing. That makes you the most dangerous of everybody. You could hurt some folks. Bad. Never get MC in one of these stained glass places. She will knock it down. Exactly, Esh. Exactly. That's what I think is gonna happen. Okay, this whole place, it's coming down. When the man zeroed in on me again and headed for me, instead I fired a psi burst at the ground in front of him. I learned a lot from my last attempt at these. Yeah, take that. Yep, that's what my psi burst sounds like. Yeah. That one was powerful enough to serve as a decent warning, but not enough to hurt anyone else. He hesitated briefly, then lunged at me. I squeezed my eyes shut, teleported to where he'd been a moment before, then whipped around and fired a psi burst directly at him in the split second before he realized I had moved. It struck him in the back, sending him right back to the ground. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Someone else entered my sphere, and I almost panicked before realizing it was Caleb. Damn it! You okay? That was a nice trick. Yeah, well, I hope he's not dead. We need to get you out of here. How? Who knows? They have another guy lurking around and... Get down! Sonic weapon. A sonic weapon? Boom! These guys are annoying. Yeah. Seriously, we can't take you anywhere, can we? Get back to Ari, and the two of you, get out of here. Right, sure. I'll just waltz over and politely ask the other knight to stop attacking him. Damn it, Jitterrue, go! He darted away from me and pulled a weapon from who knows where, firing it at the other person. He pulled that weapon right out of his ass. Van and two others were still attacking each other, and it looked like she had them sealed in some kind of shield, which was something I thought was supposed to be Ari's specialty. There was a thud from behind me at the same time the shield around Vanessa cracked. Was this a magic psi shield? Wait, Ari? Ari had the shield up around Vanessa the entire time he was also fighting? That's pretty hard to do, I would imagine. It sounds difficult. He must be very powerful. Which we did get a taste of his power earlier on in this game. Right? Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, pew. It's like this. Pew, pew. pew, pew, pew. Boom! Roar! I don't know where roar came from. It's not like there's any animals in here. As soon as the shield faltered, one person she was fighting swung her head towards me and headed my way. Van went after them only to be intercepted by the other. Shit! He scrambled back. Glad there was a bit of distance between us. The rook suddenly lifted in the air to be slammed hard into the ground. Wah! Using telekinesis on people was supposed to be dangerous. Van! That attack of hers had cost her. She took a savage kick to the ribs and staggered backwards. There was no way she could take on two people alone. But Caleb told me to get to Ari. Damn it. What should I do? I can help Vanessa, or I can go to Ari like Caleb told me to. I'm helping Vanessa. When have I ever done anything that Caleb told me to do? After a split second of deliberation, I went to help Vanessa. That's our girl, okay? She's bestie. We can't leave her in the lurch. We're helping her. It was true their job was to protect me, but I couldn't just walk away to save my own skin when I could help. Honestly, if MC started just barking at people, they'd be surprised enough she might be able to sneak and attack in. Ooh, good one, you know? What if we were like this? Woof, 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 rah, rah, rah. Did you hear Penny just now? Hey, Penny, woof. Hey, Penny, woof. Penny, woof. Penny, woof. 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 That was like Penny barking in 3D. I dashed towards the rook, already struggling to their feet with a little burst of psi-enhanced speed. Good girl. Here's your reward. Here, Mr. Bow. They didn't have time to dodge the awkward kick that sent them tumbling. Half off balance from that, I caught myself and aimed a psi burst at the knight that had Vanessa pinned. Meow, 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 pew, 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 meow, meow, womp, womp, womp. Explosions! Their shield fuzzed to life a second before it hit, and it held. But it gave Van the opening she needed to land a solid punch. She was on her feet again, having foregone telekinesis to attack physically. Bam, bam, wham! Kick in the face. Take that. Punch in the gut. Yeah, tell him, Penny. Tell him, Penny. Watch out! Yes! I felt the threat and had a fraction of a second to jerk out of the way of the oncoming attack. Something snared my ankle, though. That stupid rook that I'd kicked earlier. Penny is helping. With a shriek, I hit the ground. Ah! Rolling away from them and tried to kick again. Penny being the sound effects generator. I'm just letting her do it too. Before I could struggle back to my feet, another one was there. I saw a flash of metal and recoiled, lifting an arm to ward off what I only realized was a knife when it bit into my arm. A panicked cry escaped as I tried to fend them off, catching their wrist. They twisted their hands away, the knife sweeping through the air and skimming across my forearm again. Penny oftentimes barks at me when I get all excitable, you know, and I mess with her sometimes. To rile her up, she thinks I'm messing with her. For a moment, our eyes met. Theirs were normal. Not like the woman from the vivarium. Or that man either. I was able to note it before anything and everything became a blur. Somehow I got myself away from them, clutching my injured arm to my body. My mind, my thoughts blanked. Something raw and primal stirred, a genuine fear for my life and the desperate will to survive. You do appreciate how slapstick the fight is? That's how it feels when you're writing them, too. You're always surprised no one pulls out a pie. I had a really good time, acting that out, okay? Penny helped. Bo's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? He's judging me right now. Sigh, which had been lying coiled deep inside me, only releasing in small, controlled bursts until that moment stirred in response to the terror. In the blur of overwhelming emotion, I almost released it all right then. But this time I couldn't do that. My teammates were also fighting for their lives and struggling. I couldn't run. Anger flooded me, and I let that replace the fear as I spun around and flung my arm out at the rook who was right behind me. I was like this. Wah! Yeah! He was right behind me. He got it. Karate chop into the face. A surge of spinning air whipped away from me as I released my sigh, imagining blades that tore through the ground and rocks. In that moment, I crushed all reluctance to harm others because I couldn't afford to be gentle here. Through the dust and debris that an attack kicked up, I felt more than saw the two rooks get flung away from me. Wow, I'm strong. Don't mess with me. Also, my eyes are glowing purple. That's how you really know I'm a badass right now. At the edge of my sphere, I felt something and lifted my shield in time for the sonic discharge to slam into it. I winced under the force of it, but my shield held. The dust cleared, and I warped my sigh around the surrounding rubble, ripping it from the ground. Blood was running down my arm, but for the moment, I did my best to ignore the pain. My sigh expanded, whipping around me with enough force to disturb the air like rotating wind. For a moment, the details of the world around me faded into the light. There were Van and Caleb and Ari and the 6 enemy attackers, 2 facing off with me now. 1 with Van, 1 with Caleb, and that other rook from before. Ari and the 6th had separated. That one, though, had only been trying to keep him busy. It was, in that moment, as if time halted. I threaded my scythe through the floor, between the stones, and up the columns and into the walls. Any loose rubble I pulled outward, preparing to bombard the attackers. I couldn't take them all out. Not the one fighting with Van, for sure, not without hurting her. And Caleb, too, since they'd given up shooting and were back to beating each other senseless. Pew, 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 pew. The other 4, though, I could do something about them as long as I kept my team shielded in the process. Sound and color faded back in. Then there was a flash, and the knight fighting Van was gone. The team gathered, and a vortex opened. The 6 of them were out of sight in seconds. An unexpected retreat. The bishop outside. Their presence vanished as well. And it was just the 4 of us again. My strength evaporated, psi fizzling out, and all the bits of rubble crashed to the ground. My knees hit the stone seconds later, too. Ow! Ow! I clutched my arm, burning with pain, now that I was focusing on it again, and sat there panting and staring at the ground. You know what? Banging your knee on stone sounds really painful. Also, MC's head probably hurts after all of that psi attack, you know? It gives us headaches. I bet she's feeling pretty psi fatigued. Caleb was shouting, his voice grating and angry. I thought he was talking to Ari. I couldn't understand what he was saying. It wasn't until I felt her hands that I realized Van was checking on me. We're not doing so hot. Rue, look at me. Van. Deep breaths. Come on. Breathe. Still numb, I nodded, trying to follow her directions. I can't believe that bastard stabbed you. I got stabbed? Why am I always getting stabbed in games? Is Milky here? That's why. There you are. Look, Milky. You're here? Of course I got stabbed. That's what happens when Milky is here. Every time. Every time I get stabbed. Oh my gosh. My ear started itching because there's like a hair in there. I let out a shaky breath, throat tightening almost painfully. Van pulled me close. Hold me, Van. Hold me. Kiss me, Van. Oh wait, Van's taken. Hold me, Van. Platonically. It's okay. Cry if you need to. If you still need to hit something, I offer up Caleb. I love that Caleb is always catching strays, as he deserves. I got stabbed in a beautiful location, at least it wasn't in an alley. That's true. I usually get stabbed in alleys. Not today. Today I got stabbed under the beautiful light of a sun shining through the stained glass thing. Yep. I let out a painful choked laugh. Don't make me laugh, Van. She pulled away, taking my arm. From a small pack nestled in her back, she pulled out a pack of gauze. This is gonna hurt. A long hiss escaped as she pressed it to my arm. Kss. Ari and Caleb are confirming. Those people are long gone by now. Who were they? Hell if I know. There were 7 of them, and they were tough. Yeah, they were. They were horrible. They'd have been tough, even if we weren't outnumbered. Man, I hate fighting in close quarters like this. Why? Why did they retreat? My voice was hoarse as I strained to speak around the lump in my throat. Well, you could have scared them off with whatever the hell you were seconds from doing. I don't think it was as scary a plan as it felt. It involved knocking them down and dropping rocks on them. Hey, you saved my butt back there. I hope you realize. Thanks. I gave her a weak smile. Yeah. You were supposed to get your ass over to Ari so he could get you out of here before you got stabbed.
Caleb, it's too late to yell at her now. And we can't say for sure she would have made it to me.
His eyes shifted to the side, fingers tapping against the side of his arm.
I hate to say it, but they appeared to be attempting to isolate Rue from the start.
Caleb crouched next to me, his expression dark as he lifted my arm to examine the shallow cut from which the bleeding had already slowed. This was my bad. I wasn't prepared to encounter a team of elites that could give us a hard time. Well, we were outnumbered. Look at the face, Milky. He's sad. Milky's like, I also offer up Caleb. Me too. Oh my God. We all offer up Caleb as a sacrifice. Yeah, we were.
We should get her back to the...
Oh, this is Van talking, not Ari. We should get her back to the tower. Her complexion's not good. Well, I am bleeding profusely. I need to go to the doctor. Ari, get Rue back for treatment right away. What about the smugglers? We hadn't found even a trace of them until the ambush. I don't think there's much point in looking around.
Then I will get Rue to the tower in return for you.
Isn't that too much? It's a really long distance.
I'll be fine.
Wait, what if they come back after we leave? Sweetie, if you're not here, they won't have a reason to come back. They're here because everybody wants me. That's why they're here. Everyone wants me and I'm on the run for my life all the freaking time. Or I'm trapped in Endgame. So everyone else was thinking the same thing. I had been the target. All the extra firepower was just to keep my team occupied so they could try to... What? Kill me? Question, of course, was, who were they? There couldn't be that many teams of highly trained elite espers that could take on some of the most powerful people at Endgame's disposal. So, I wasn't the only one who felt they were after me.
You were not.
The question is, where the hell does a team of elites like that come from? There were at least 7 of them, all of them high ranks.
We are aware of other factions with high ranks, but I'll admit it was strange.
If it was an attempt to capture Rue or kill her, it was especially clumsy. No offense, but if they were serious, those injuries wouldn't be in your arm. You can't go easy or hold back in situations like this, Rue. Now's not the time for a lecture, but this once I'll agree with him. You always have to assume the people in a situation like this want you dead. I didn't assume they wanted to have a conversation. But you still held back. Oh. But you still held back. Your side bursts should have put those people out of commission permanently, but they got back up. We were being merciful, weren't we?
For the time being, we should get back to the tower, regardless whether this team was far away, or much closer to home. Now isn't the time to discuss what could have been done better.
Closer to home. In other words, the council. But if they weren't trying to kill me or take me away, now they have a knife covered in my blood. Do other factions have the ability to make clones, Esh? Or is it just Endgame that has that science and that technology? Because that could be bad. That could be real bad. Was that all they were after? That seemed unlikely, but it was a bonus at any rate. Ari took me by the uninjured arm and slid one of his arms around my waist to help me to my feet. My legs were very unsteady, and I leaned on him more than I expected. Hold me, Ari. Hi, Ari. Oh, wait, it's not Ari's root. I'm not supposed to hit on him. Dang it. Hi, Ari. You just wait till I start your root. Pew, 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 pew. Are you sure? You can rest more. I'm sure that fight was...
I'm fine. With just one passenger, this isn't too much.
But you're also coming back? Ah! Thank you for the warning.
Did you need one?
Well...
Shorter jumps are easier on passengers. As you are injured, a jump is likelier to have an adverse effect. Even when you're used to it, if you need to wait...
No, I'm fine. I'm concerned for you.
There's no need. If you're ready...
Right, let's go. Right straight to the interior of Cor Solaris. His ability was amazing, especially now that I could deconstruct what was happening with his psi each time.
Are you all right?
Well, I mean, I do have a stab wound, but otherwise...
We are just outside the medical ward. Teleporting straight in would cause a stir. We'll walk in normally instead. It is still going to cause a stir, just less of one.
I understand. It wasn't until we were in the infirmary that I realized the massive drawback of white uniforms. I hadn't paid attention to the bloodstains until the exact moment. When the first nurse saw us, everything happened at once. Ari disappeared again to retrieve Van and Caleb. Meanwhile, I was ushered into a room. I had to explain what happened to Dr. Sasaki. My injuries were cleaned and treated. There were other abrasions and bruises that he treated as well, and I had several medical scans. For a while, I didn't have time to think about what happened. Everyone else got back while I was with Dr. Sasaki getting patched up. They also had minor injuries, but no one had been hurt as badly as me. When I was released, they told me to head back to my flat and rest while they were debriefing Magnus on what happened. They didn't think I needed to be there for that, at least not the initial debriefing. That was a relief. The shower is where I broke down. It seemed the unusual place. It seemed the usual place to have a breakdown. Yep, every time. There was an exoderm plaster covering the wounds, so Dr. Sasaki had told me it was fine to shower. I was gonna ask about that. Can you shower? Oh, see, we have future technology, so we can protect our wound and shower. I hadn't intended to burst into tears right away, but once there was nothing else to occupy my thoughts, I couldn't help it. It was just the turmoil from the day, the memory of the fight, the pain. It felt like forever that I stood in there, sort of laugh crying, in the cascade of hot water. Esh says, not me creating lore to justify a shower scene with an injury. You do like to have shower scenes for mental breakdowns, including when we're injured. You know, it makes sense. The reality was, I should be grateful that I survived that. As for who they were and what they wanted, there were limited options, but I figured I would need to wait for the others to draw any firm conclusions. Making up my mind about it while crying alone in the shower didn't seem like the best idea. It must have been just a flesh wound, you know, like they didn't get any crazy important organs, you know? Or maybe just medical technology is so good that we're able to even like kind of stand up and function. But it did feel a bit like I was up against things I couldn't defeat on my own. You're not alone. You have Van and the others, and Magnus will help. I shut the water off, standing there dripping for a few minutes. Sulking and crying over it wouldn't get me anywhere either. Maybe I couldn't win, but that wouldn't stop me from trying. I was still toweling off my hair when I walked into the living room. I'm hungry and sleepy, and I wondered if the others were finished debriefing. My door chime went off before I could even finish that thought. Giving it a quick check with my sigh, I realized it was Magnus and not, as I expected, Van or one of the others. Curious, I went to let him in. He burst inside, startling me with a pale, wide-eyed look on his face. We weren't going to get dressed before letting him in. We're going to let him in a towel. Hi, Magnus. Please, yes, come in. Oh, don't mind the fact that I'm naked. Magnus didn't say a word as he stepped right up to me and folded me into a careful hug. They told me you were attacked during the mission. Well, we were all attacked, yes. You were hurt. Minor injuries. You were stabbed! Slashed across the arms. Not really stabbed, exactly. MC has zero shame or modesty. She consistently answers the door in a towel or her undies. That she does. her pajamas and stuff. She don't care. Girl don't care. She's like, listen, okay, I'm hot and I know it, and I'm like, I'm fine, okay? Have fun. Get a good look. He released me, stepping away and putting a hand to his head, muttering to himself. This wasn't supposed to happen. You were never supposed to be in that much danger. It's the nature of the job, isn't it? It shouldn't be. His eyes widened, and he took a step back from me, covering his mouth with the back of his hand. He's so upset for me. Oh, Magnus. Oh. I'm sorry. I shouldn't shout. When they told me you were hurt, I didn't know what to do. I still don't. No. I realized how ashen his face was, and he was shaking. I took his hand, then caught his chin gently to make him stay still. Magnus, look at me. I'm fine. I'm still here, still standing. You can't just accept it when things like this happen. I can't do anything but accept it. What did you say? That I have a penetration trauma to the brachioradialis, which only narrowly missed the bone. I also have a 6 millimeter deep lateral laceration that, Okay, I get it. It's creepy when you talk like him. I tried. He said you'd be all right. Yes, he did. You know full well I wouldn't have been released if he didn't think so. Also, for some reason, every time somebody gets stabbed, I imagine it being stabbed in the gut, but MC got stabbed in the arm, not the gut. Do you want something to drink? I'm curious what the others told you about what happened. And who they think... Rue. Oh, what are you wearing? I was wondering when somebody was going to bring up the fact that Rue is naked. I glanced down at myself. Oh, right. I wasn't really dressed, was I? Oh, how silly of me. I didn't even notice. Well, I just got out of the shower. He hadn't seemed to notice when he first entered, but now his face was half covered with his hand. What I could see of the rest of his was, surprisingly red. Is it surprising, girl? Could you please put on some clothes? Sure, just, give me a moment. Are you sure you want me to put clothes on? Yeah, exactly, Milky. The important bits are covered. Okay? I don't want to make a fuss about it. Obviously, if we let on that we suspect. Is it always like this? I mean, I get that my being here has caused a lot of issues. I do understand that part. But is it always this game of who is one step ahead?
It's been like this for a long time, at least for me. For the others, I don't know if they don't notice or if they choose to ignore it because it's easier. For a long time, the council wasn't sure about where I stood, but I think they've begun to realize
that you aren't as stupid as you pretend to be.
They never believed I was stupid. But I suppose they believed there was a certain amount of ignorance.
Do you think that they're aware we suspect them?
The council doesn't know how much we know.
What do we know? Can they listen in? Well, I suppose Magnus wouldn't bring up anything that they could hear. He would detect it if they were listening in.
At the very least, if they have a knife with your blood on it, they acquired the DNA sample they failed to obtain the other night.
Is that all they were after?
I don't know. It won't be enough for what they want to do. But it is a starting point.
Apparently Morgan has nice legs. Several people mention it in their roots when they also see her in a towel or undies. Ooh, Magnus was totally checking us out just now, you know? He was beet red. He was like, oh God.
This is getting messier than I wanted.
Than he wanted? What did that mean? Yeah, what did that mean, Magnus? Then you wanted. You didn't plan for this.
Rue, I never wanted you to deal with something like this.
His fingers hovered in the air above my injury, as if he was afraid to touch it.
When I realized that I had begun to fall in love with you, I also realized I wanted to keep you from being hurt in any way.
Y'all, we just had a love confession. He just said it. He just said it. He's in love with us. He's desperately in love with us. Love. Oh, this was a little unexpected. He said the L word. Magnus clasped his hands, twisting his slender fingers together as his brow furrowed.
To be honest, I'm not sure what that word means. But when I think about what it must be, then it seems to suit what I've come to feel for you. It's something I don't think I ever expected to find.
He looked up at me and smiled.
It's a strange comfort I have when I'm with you, and warmth, a sense of sameness.
It was seeing us in a towel that tipped it. I think you're right, Milky. I agree.
I have a conflicting feeling of being sorry I brought you here, and not being sorry at all to have the chance to know you.
I love him so much. Yes, Magnus. Let's go elope together. Let's do it right now. He ran a finger over my arm, the knuckle tracing a soft line over my skin.
It's odd. I'm not usually indecisive. You make me doubt myself, but strangely, only in the best ways.
I have no idea what that means.
Neither do I. Perhaps that's why I enjoy these unfamiliar feelings you stir so much.
He settled his head on my shoulder. My hand strayed to his hair. sweet and precious. We're the one that got stabbed, and yet he's the one that needs comforting. He's more upset about it than we are. Way more upset about it, okay? Magnus, you're so precious. Oh my god.
My head is so messed up right now, Rue.
Hello, Shell. Welcome you, Stunner. Hi, I subbed from Lisa's channel. Have you playing in the background? You're actually writing. Oh, thank you so much for coming over here from Lisa's channel. Shout out to Lisa. Oh my gosh, thank you, Stunner. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Meryl came back at the right time. Guess what, Meryl? You came back for canoodling. Romance, okay? Listen, it's love confession time. It's my favorite part of romance games. Literally, I think my favorite scene in most romance games, it's either the bad ending or it's the love confession. I love love confessions. I eat them up. I can't have enough. Wow, hearing Rue say my real name was so weird. Raffle? Did I say your real name? Oh, it was two very different things. Hi, set for you. Welcome you, Stunner. You're here for canoodling. We're having a love confession moment, okay? There's going to be more kissing, I hope. There's been lots of kissing and stuff today. Lots of kissing and cuddling and canoodling. It's a good day to be on stream. Yes.
My head is so messed up right now, Rue. For the first time, I'm unsure about the path I've chosen. Sometimes, once you've started down a path, it's difficult to diverge from it. Even when you try, even if you change your mind. I worry about whether you will think badly of me, and it makes me face decisions with more caution than before. Why would I think badly of you?
Oh, that's me now. You like the pink hair. Thank you, Stunner. There was a towel scene. Yes, there was. There was a towel scene. There was a love confession. And when we first started this stream, we started off with kissing. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's been spicy. 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 Why would I think badly of you? What kind of path have you chosen that you'd be worried about that?
I'm glad you're okay. I could never live with myself if you were harmed.
A notification popped up in my system message tray as we sat there. Magnus got the same one because he sat straight away. What is? My eyes went wide when I pulled up the message and saw the contents. Lethe was hospitalized? Lethe was? It seemed the message went out to the higher-ranked agents, the guard among them. It was probably the only reason someone like me was being notified that one of the Moirai was out of commission. How was Lethe hospitalized? Why was Lethe hospitalized? Don't tell me the person that stabbed me had something to do with Lethe. I'm trying to remember what they looked like. It was the other group. I'm suspicious. Y'all, Lethe attacked me earlier. Lethe attacked me in my bedroom. In the middle of the night. She scared the mess out of me and attacked me with a bunch of other espers. They're trying to steal my DNA or something. How dare, without my permission. Well, I whooped their asses and sent them running out of the room. I should have put the fear of God into that woman. She's not scared enough of me. It's real. We need to do something to prevent her from coming after us again. Why was she hospitalized? Good question, girl, but why? Magnus and I shared a look before he stood and went to the door. I stood as well, picking up the glasses he'd left behind on the coffee table.
I must go see what this is about. I apologize. I wish I could stay longer.
I'll come with you. I held up a hand when he protested. Oh, and some of you are like asking me, what? Who are you talking to? Some of you are on Twitch. Some of you are on YouTube. I am multi-streaming right now. So that's, if you see someone that I'm responding to and they're not in your chat, that's what's happening. Van is a member of my team. I'm sure she'll be there. I just want to make sure she's all right. They've supported me a lot these last few days. Van is related to Lethe. They're sisters. I want to return the favor.
Very well. We'll go together then.
And Van is also one of my guards people. She's in the Queen's Guard, and I'm a Queen rank Esper, which means that she's like one of my bodyguards. It seemed there wouldn't be time for rest soon. Things were building towards the future Lethe was waiting for, I suppose. It frightened me more with each passing day, and now the one who had been warning us from the start was hospitalized. What did this mean? I suspected there wouldn't be answers even when we got to the infirmary. We could only keep getting swept forward to whatever awaited. As we walked, I slipped my hand into Magnus's, whether because I wanted to comfort, or thought he might, I couldn't say. He took it and squeezed back gently. It will be okay. I said the words to myself, but I wasn't sure I believed it to be true. Chapter 11. The Edge of Night. Y'all, that was crazy. That chapter, so much happened. Between the end of chapter 10 and all of chapter 11, that was wild. There was so much fighting and stuff. There was a love confession. It doesn't get any better than that. Also, on the Twitch side of things, ad gel is about to start in 30 seconds. It was a surprise to find both Ari and Caleb waiting in the infirmary, as well as Vanessa. I suppose they'd been together when she got the message about her sister. And now, Magnus was inside the room with the van, while the rest of us were sitting in the hallway waiting. So we don't know what happened.
Well, you said something about fatigue, but it seems like it's more serious than that. They said something about a precog event. They can leave bishops with pretty severe trauma sometimes, physical and emotional.
I wonder what she saw.
The Moirai receive a special nano expansion that allows for the recording of precog events. It's difficult to decode the information, though. Precog events, from what I understand, are like dreams. Even if we record the images, sounds, voices, without the dreamer's actual thought process and perspective, they can be confusing.
In other words, without her to interpret it, it may take some time. What about you? Magnus ran out of our meeting when he heard you were stabbed. I thought he was playing it up like he does, but it seems like he was actually worried.
He only came to check on me.
I don't know what the hell you did to get him to care about things again.
Well, listen, okay, he want that cookie. That's what I did. Also, I had just nothing but a towel on. I didn't do anything, and he cares about...
No, he doesn't. He acts innocent and pretends we're a big family, but he doesn't give a shit about anything or anyone here, Rue. He'd throw us all away in a heartbeat.
Oh, I don't think that's true. In fact, that's exactly... I didn't even read these before I said that. It just came out of my mouth. One of these responses. So because that's what I just said, that's the one I have to pick. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true, though I can understand why you see it that way. I think Magnus also believes that sometimes as well, but it's not actually true. I'm aware I haven't known him as long as you, but he's better than you give him credit for being, and better than he gives himself credit for being. But this place doesn't seem to bring out the best in people.
Well, that at least is something I can agree with. I don't know about the rest of that. I can't imagine what you see in him.
It seems pretty ridiculous to wipe his memories and then blame him for not having those feelings. I know! It's not his fault. None of this is his fault. I wonder if Caleb knows that all of Magnus's memories were wiped. Well, they would have to, right? Because Magnus didn't remember any of them. Yeah, why are y'all blaming Magnus? It's not his fault, okay? You've been repeatedly saying things that the game turns around and says like 4 lines later. You're vibing. I know. Me and MC, okay, we are one and the same. Me and MC, I got you, girl. Like, I'm in your brain. I am you, MC. We are the same. They know something happened, but they don't have the full story. Okay, they probably have an idea, because he probably was acting weird when he didn't recognize them with amnesia. But they don't know the whole story. Hi, Artisan. Welcome, you stunner. I'm so glad to see you. Yes, I'm live. I
don't know about the rest of that. I can't imagine what you see in him.
You're just jealous, okay? Liar. He gave me a sharp look. I don't think that dysfunction between the two of you is sincere. That he struggles. Maybe you can't see what all he struggles with, but you realize it's been hard for him. Your frustration isn't that you think he's a bad person. It's that you know he isn't. The corner of Caleb's mouth went up. Aw, see? Deep down inside, Caleb, you love him. You love each other. Yeah, see, Esh? Caleb is jealous. Fun fact, Caleb had a huge crush on Magnus when they were in the academy together. He's not jealous because he's in love with me. He's jealous because he's down bad for Magnus? Juicy! Juicy! Oh my God! My God, y'all, we almost had a BL up in here. Yowie, here we go.
Look at you analyzing everyone around you all professional-like.
It's not like any of you are that complicated. It's just this place is complicated. Can we go Polly? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, I don't disagree with that. And I guess the rest of what you said is probably true, too. I only wish he didn't wear that damn mask all the time. His voice dropped to a mumble. He can be himself around us, too. He can tell us what he's planning for a change.
This might not be the best place for a detailed analysis of Magnus's personality, you two. I hope you realize that.
Yes, people are listening to us probably right now. Ooh, hi, Indio Tome. Welcome, you stunner. There we go. The web just wasn't letting me tune in at first. I'm so glad to see you, Indio Tome / Jambi. Yes. Magnus, MC, and Lance is one poly that you support and have said is viable. But you haven't met Lance yet. Okay. Jambi is India Tome. Jambi says Lance would be down. New experiences and all. Lance is a curious type, huh? Lance would be totally down. Happy to be here. Would you like a shouty? y'all, since you're here as Indiotomi, go follow Indiotomi on the Twitch. Follow. Here we go. Boop.
This might not be the best place for a detailed analysis of Magnus's personality, you two. I hope you realize that.
So, you were all still waiting here. Magnus stepped outside at that moment, giving the three of us a long look. How much of our conversation did you listen to just now, Magnus? I defended you, okay? There was an odd catch in his voice when he spoke. He seemed off, more upset than I expected, given that he didn't like Lethe all that much. No, he does not like Lethe, because Lethe is the reason he lost his memories. It was Lethe. There was something troubled in his expression. How is Lethe?
They aren't sure yet. Yu believes it was a mind burst.
Mind burst?
It is a powerful theokinetic experience. In her case, likely precognitive. They can be quite dangerous. Most bishops learn to avoid them and control their theokinesis, but occasionally a mind burst of significant magnitude can't be avoided.
I don't like this. This wasn't supposed to. He stopped, a deep frown on his face.
The contents of her mind burst were recorded.
They're sifting through them now to see what can be gleaned from it. The council has called me to a meeting. I'll have to leave you here for now. He said nothing else, but was still wearing that troubled expression when he left.
I don't believe I have seen him struggle to maintain composure so much before.
Yeah, something's weird. Someone else came out, prompting us to stand again. This time it was Dr. Sasaki. Well, how is she? She is alive. The damage is extensive. I meant, that is... He cleared his throat. How's Van? She's concerned, as is to be expected. Can we... I want to make sure Van is okay. Can we go in? One of you. I believe Vanessa would appreciate the emotional support. If you'll excuse me? Well, go on. The two of you have known her longer. You may be the newbie, but you're no more an outsider any more than I am. Go inside. I'm sure she'll be grateful. And you're somehow more worried than Ari and me combined. He gave me a crooked grin, reaching to set a hand on my head. Your sewing machine just broke. Oh. That's a tragedy. And let's face it, between the three of us, who do you think is going to be better at comforting her? Well, that was a fair point, regardless how long any of us had known her. We're besties, okay? Sisters before misters. Loitering outside the door a moment longer, I finally opened it and stepped inside the room. I wasn't so much worried about Lethe as I was about Van, but it's not like I wasn't worried about Lethe at all. Yeah, Lethe's trifling, but we're not a monster. But we don't... Van's the one that we really care about. And they are related. The motor is overloaded. It's because you've been doing too much brilliant work with that thing. It can't handle you. Seeing her on the bed unconscious, face ashen, I took a deep breath. I didn't like her or trust her, but I didn't want her to die. I didn't want anyone to die,
but especially not someone Van cared about.
I wonder if this is how she felt watching me in a bed like this back then.
It was her only acknowledgement I'd entered. I quietly moved to the bedside where she was sitting, holding her sister's hand.
I'm sure she did. It's always difficult to see a loved one suffer. I'm sorry. I don't know why they sent you here when you don't even like.
I like you. That's why they sent me. You're a friend, and you're hurting right now. Your sister? I guess the situation put us at odds with one another. But it isn't as if I hate her or anything.
I wish you could have met her before Sylvia died. She was so calm and wise and beautiful. Even back when she was struggling with her abilities, she was so much more talented than I was.
I sat on the small stool next to the bed, figuring Van needed a listener more than anything. She struggled.
Well, I guess we all do. Sylvia helped her out. That's how they became friends. Sylvia was a queen, but she sort of specialized in our area, I guess you could say. She had such a singular way of looking at things. She taught Ronnie when no one else could.
Everything I hear about Sylvia makes her seem amazing. It seems she touched many people here. I'm sure her death was hard on everyone.
It shook us all in ways I think were still affecting us. Ronnie was hit hard by it, and she was never the same.
So was Magnus. Magnus was hit really hard by that whole thing too. I think that's part of the reason why Magnus reacted the way that he did when MC got hurt, because he has trauma related to that as well. Even though he doesn't exactly remember it, he's got a deep-seated, deep-rooted trauma there.
But so much happened at once back then. Ari lost his mentor. Jack and Caleb lost theirs too. We all lost Sylvia. I was in a coma for a while trying to decide if I'd join them all, I guess. Jack left, and I know they had Ronnie do something to Magnus back then.
Jack and Sylvia were siblings, correct? That must have been the reason why Jack left. My eyes widened. Van looked up at me, finally, letting out a quiet, sad little laugh.
You don't need to look so shocked. She's my sister. I know her abilities better than anyone. And the council was intrigued when they saw how gifted she was with memory altering. It's such a rare ability, but it was just emerging back then. I was unconscious when it happened, but I pieced it all together based on what everyone told me.
So she knows about Magnus?
Those three were such good friends, I guess, because they were all at the top and could support each other, and then Ronnie lost Syl, and they made her hurt Magnus. When I woke up, it was like she'd withered away inside. I reckon a lot of us realized something happened, if not exactly what.
It's even worse now that we know this other angle, what the council did to these people. It's even worse. How dare they? They were best friends, the three of them. They were best friends. And the council made them all turn on each other. The council was the one that made Lethe wipe away poor Magnus's memories. And it's their fault, not Magnus's, that Sylvia died. Even though the blood is technically on Magnus's hands, and he blames himself for that. But it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't any of their fault.
I wish Lethe wouldn't, like, be so trifling with MC, though. Even though this is horrible what happened, they lost their friend. It wasn't fair. They're forced to do things against their will. That doesn't excuse Lethe trying to attack us now. You know? Recently? I hope we can put this past us one day. If you knew, why did you never? I couldn't even say what she could have done. What any of them could have done. I guess when it felt like he finally started to go back to normal a little, we all wanted to move on, lick our wounds and walk away. But you don't walk away from that stuff. It just festers the longer you try to pretend you don't see it. Then a catalyst comes along and the wound breaks open. A catalyst like me. I could cry. I still don't know why you triggered such a powerful reaction in Lethe. Well, I think I could understand. It's because I remind Lethe of the previous queen. That's what I think. True. You can see how things are here. I mean, in the end, we're all just trying to live. To take each moment as it comes and live. But there's a lot of pain here, too. A lot of terrible memories. And not everything here is pleasant or happy. It's been like that since long before you came here. So please, don't think of yourself as some terrible catalyst. It's not like that. I hate seeing someone I know like this. I hope she recovers. I'm sure she will. This isn't the first time something like this has happened, and you is a brilliant doctor. I mean, he's a snot-nosed brat, and kind of a stalker sometimes. Though that's mostly reserved for Caleb. Once again, Caleb catching strays. I'm pretty sure he uses big words just to annoy people. And he's a ruthless flirt when he wants to be. I swear that man can seduce someone in like half a second if he puts his mind to it. A flirt. He is. Really? Are we talking about the same person here? Are you talking about you or Caleb? Are you talking about you? You doesn't flirt with me like that, does he? Does you flirt with me? Has you been flirting with you? He's been flirting with you, huh, girl? You've only seen him at work. That's why it surprises you. I can't picture him flirting at all. Real. I imagine he sort of lived here. Exactly. In the infirmary. Sleeping under the nurse's station, perpetually yelling medical jargon at people who annoy him. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Van laughed. I'm gonna tell him you said that. Do it. I want to see his face when you do, though. He just doesn't flirt with me. He's been flirting with Van. I was so relieved to see her laugh, though it didn't run off the traces of shadows in her face. But it was still nice to see. I stayed with her a while longer as we talked. Though I got her to laugh a few more times, the conversation was subdued and quiet. Lethe didn't stir the entire time. When we finally left, Caleb and Ari were still in the hall. That made me smile. They waited all that time. But Dr. Sasaki arrived around that time to throw all visitors out. And he scolded me for not resting. We left, Van nudging me and smirking because I was certain it was obvious I was trying to picture him flirting. He wasn't in high spirits by any stretch, but she wasn't in high spirits by any stretch. But she seemed to be okay, especially when Mara was finally off duty and able to come to her. I was glad to see them walking back to their flat together. None of us wanted Van to be alone, and no one wanted And no one could compete with Mara when it came to making her feel better. That's right. That's right. It was no surprise when I found myself unable to relax or sleep. Even without Lethe's sudden mind burst, I'd have been keyed up. It was a strange night, and I was profoundly restless. I might have gone to the training room, but with my arm injured, that was out of the question. So instead I wandered the halls. I stayed in the lounge a while, then moved to the garden, then back to the lounge to get away from the people there. What is this feeling? I rubbed up my chest as if it would smooth away the tight, uneasy feeling there. It had been a long day. Even with the painkillers and accelerated healing, I'd been injured. It had started to itch a while ago as well. I hate that. You know, when you're healing and it itches? But it was more than that. Uh-oh, Esh is eating popcorn. That's never a good sign when Esh eats popcorn. Or when Esh sips tea. Both of those things means bad. Persistent anxiety followed me as I roamed the tower. It was just a long day. I kept saying it, but when the itchy feeling spread to prickly tingles all down my arms and spine, I had to admit something else was going on. Oh, it was not just an itch because of healing on our wound. It's a psychic itch. I wonder what this could possibly mean, Esh. Sipping tea. How dare you? I don't even know what's going to happen, but how dare you already? To be honest, since I arrived, I hadn't put much focus into theokinetics, nor had I any real premonitions. Sips louder. But this was feeling something like that. Oh no. I had finally decided I needed to just go wait it out in my flat. Is it because we had proximity to Lethe? Do we now have the ability? Do we have the ability to see the future now? Is that what's happening? I was on my way there when a black and yellow blur rounded a corner and smashed into me, yanking me into the room I was passing. Excuse me, how dare? Oh, it's you. Hi, Magnus. What? He's a black and yellow blur.
It's me.
He shut the door behind us, turning to give the locking mechanism a stare. I heard it engage. He locked the door. Why did you lock the door just now, Magnus? Magnus, what?
I found you. I found you first.
Found me first? What's going on? He was distraught, face pale, eyes wide. His hands, still on my shoulders, were shaking. Magnus? He's a bee, it's confirmed. What's wrong with you, Magnus?
They've done it. They've really done it this time.
Laughter bubbled up, spilling over as he released me and dragged his hand through his hair. It's a bitter laugh I'm imagining. Magnus, calm down. What's going on?
They've done it, but I did it too. For a while, they won't be able to do anything else. I've locked them in and shut them out of the communication system.
Magnus!
It's the council. I didn't hurt them. I should have. I should have killed the bastards this time.
Damn, Magnus! Whoa, whoa, whoa! My gosh.
Maybe I still will.
My God! Magnus! I didn't expect this out of him.
I need to show them that brand of control isn't necessary. I need to end this.
Milky's like he's gone full evil rebellion, and you like it, right? What did you come back to? Magnus has gone evil. Okay, he's taken a turn. Magnus, I didn't know you had this in you. I grabbed him by the arms, gripping him tightly. Calm down and tell me what's going on.
They're going to arrest you, Rue.
I let out a shaky breath, somehow not even shocked. Do I get to know what I've done this time?
They say they decoded Lethe's vision, or at least enough of it to think they need to have you in custody.
That's not fair. You can't arrest people based on the future that hasn't even happened yet. That's not fair. That's not right. What the hell? Magnus has been teetering on this the whole time. He just hides it well. Yeah, he's been hiding it, really hiding it. I mean, I already knew, I could sense, I knew there was beef, okay? And I already knew that he was hiding something. I didn't realize like the full extent of his, I didn't realize the full extent of Magnus's, his ire, or his disposition, if you will. Also, it kind of makes him even hotter, you know? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Well, Magnus. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like +10 hotness. He laughed again. I kind of like him being a little crazy, you know? He's a little crazy right now. I'm into it. Magnus, ha ha ha. Our dear council watches out for us so well. Code those jugs. I will destroy them. Exactly. Just makes him hotter, Ash. What do I do in this vision?
It's the thing. You don't think you do anything.
Oh, wait.
That's the thing. I don't think you do anything.
I'm innocent and they still want to have me arrested? How dare?
I couldn't find a shred of evidence she had a theokinetic experience.
Meaning what?
Meaning she manipulated their memories, Rue. Everyone at once must have been too much for her. It looked like a normal mind burst, only because everyone was saying she had a precognitive experience. And those idiots won't question it, no matter the proof, because it suits them to have a reason to go after you.
Lethe? Once again, Lethe strikes again. And then they sit there and use this as an excuse to come after me. How dare? How dare? How dare? But why would Lethe do this?
It's my fault. I shouldn't have waited so long. I should have taken care of the council weeks ago, years ago. Veronica was never supposed to do something like that. She did it because I faltered, because I waited too long and caused you to hesitate.
Magnus, you need to explain to me what's going on right now.
There isn't time. I shut down their communications, but I don't know how long it'll be before they send the Furies. You need to block them out until we're out of range.
Out of range? What does that mean?
We need to leave, Rue. We have to get out of here. There's no way we can stay now. You see that, right?
Oh, God. Let's elope. It's time. It's time for us to run away together. Let's elope. Let's go live in the forest or the woods or the desert or something where they'll never find us. His voice was frenzied, eyes still wide as he clutched my shoulders again, like he'd snapped finally. Oh, he snapped all right.
Let's just go. I know somewhere we'll be safe.
Yes, let's go. Let's run away together. Or I can say, not until you explain. Or won't that make things worse? We're gonna run away together now, and then we'll ask questions later. Let's get out of here. I took a deep breath, trying to organize the limited information I had. Magnus thought we should run. That was enough for me. All right, but where do we go? There was a split-second look of surprise, as if he didn't expect me to agree. He pulled me to him in a disbelieving hug, and an odd little laugh escaping. I'd never seen him like this before.
I have a place in mind.
Will we be telling the others?
No, if we mobilize the god, we'll be noticed.
I hope there's a plan for what happens after we leave. I assume we'll be pursued. He let out another low laugh, this one without the same edge of panic, though. His grip on me tightened.
I didn't expect you to agree so easily. You always surprise me.
It's because your expectations are too low. I trust you thought this through, right? It isn't like we didn't know this might happen. Totally not why I tried to join the stream even though baby says no, lol. A wonderful place. Yeah. Exactly, Meryl. Exactly. Not this exactly, but something like it.
You trust me.
Shouldn't I? Is there a reason I should not be trusting you, Magnus?
Sometimes I wonder.
Instead of wondering about it, just make sure you're trustworthy. Yeah, that part. Just don't betray me, Magnus.
You're right.
He pulled away and decided we at least had time for a kiss. A brief one. Ooh, yes, more kisses.
You really are the only one I can rely on here.
I'm not so sure that's true.
It is this time.
If we're in a rush, then...
Right, of course, yes. I'll send you an image and coordinates. I think first, we should get out of the tower and then move on from there. We'll be relying on your teleporting skills.
Well, I've had more practice, but I haven't taken a passenger anywhere, I hope you realize. And it would be a stretch to say I've mastered it, or become even close. I recalled Magnus taking an extreme interest in my training, with Ari in particular, and pushing me to learn to teleport. Now we finally know why. It had been for short-distance escapes, but now I wondered how far ahead Magnus had been planning at that time. Ooh, I bet you he's been planning this since I got there. And how much had he prepared for something like this?
There's no time for you to get anything or for us to take anything.
Yeah, story of my life.
And I'll need to rely on you for a reverse cage. I'm sorry, sometimes my abilities are quite useless.
Yeah. I'm the most powerful one. You can't do anything. You can't do shit except mess with technology. I get it. I'm almost certain your abilities are going to come in handy.
Then, ready?
Nope. I got a good look at the message he'd sent me. It was a street here in Brazil. Expanding my sphere all at once, I homed in on that location and, making sure I had a wide space just in case I missed the target, I grabbed his hand and we jumped. I was fine when we stumbled out onto a street in Brazil. Magnus, not so much. Oh, poor Pookie. He staggered towards a nearby wall, catching himself on it with a gagging cough.
Oh dear, I had no idea Ari was such a terrible teacher.
Not Ari catching strays. Sorry, I'm still new at this. Are you okay? I joined him, rubbing his back as he bit back another gagging cough.
I'm not sure. Maybe I should have asked them to arrest me.
God. You don't want that. I thought they were going to arrest me.
Well, I'm sure they'd have dragged me into it somehow.
As much as I'd love to let you recover, Caleb and Ari did that with me, and then we got attacked. We might want to keep going if you're determined this is the right course of action. Magnus straightened, flicking a hand towards me.
He's like, okay.
I blinked with startled curiosity when he somehow bypassed my message system and pulled up the image of another map and city.
This is where we're going. We have to get there from here. I don't know if you can do it in one jump or many, but you should get us as close as possible. Preferably without harming yourself. We will drive the rest of the way. However far that may be.
Got it. In that case, I took him by the arm, deciding I'd do this gently. If longer jumps were more difficult on passengers, I'd try several small ones. I studied the map he'd given me, then shut my eyes, expanding my sphere again. Hold on.
I don't intend to do anything but.
He clutched my arm as I telescoped in on a target location and jumped again. It took several jumps to get us where Magnus wanted to go. As Ari had once told me, the first jump was the worst. His condition improved and mine worsened, but I hung in there until he said we were almost there. An unfamiliar city where he said we'd drive the rest of the way. He's definitely got this all planned out real. I was astonished by the blur of events that followed. There's a nice car again. We hired a vehicle, a sleek hover car that looked expensive and looks exactly like the same car that we got picked up in the very beginning. I assumed at first we were switching to a vehicle so I wouldn't tire myself out, and that was certainly part of it, as Magnus explained. It's a popular car model, real. Yep, exactly. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're reusing backgrounds. But what astonished me was when we left the dome. We left the dome! Have we ever been outside the dome in this game, Esh? Y'all, we haven't seen the sky. We haven't seen the real sky. Okay? We've been inside of a giant dome this entire time. Our last stop was an isolated tertiary dome called Emrys, near the wastes. Is the air breathable out here? Nope, you do leave the dome in a couple of other routes, but this is the first time for me, for Rue. New car means new sprite, and the 4,000 sprite limit was reached. Exactly, Meryl. Yes, it has a breathable atmosphere. Okay. Why? What's up with the dome then? Why is there a dome? Is it radioactive? It's radioactive out there, right? It was like the environment was dangerous or something, right? I can't remember. It's a long time ago now. It was one of the few access points to Delphine, where there were vast tunnels that spanned the wastes to the night side. All the tunnels, Magnus explained, had terminals leading directly into the wastes. They were completely locked down, of course. Electronic and unhackable locking mechanisms. But it wasn't as if that could keep Magnus away. His plan all along had been to abandon the domes. I had my face glued to the car window the entire time. No, because the planet is tidal locked. It's very hot on one side and very cold on the other. The only area you can really live is in the twilight region, between the day and night sides. So the domes let them live in the desert or the tundra safely. Oh! So we're going into the area where we don't need to be in a dome.
Endgame helps protect the neutrality of the wastes by keeping outsiders at bay. I know where all the guard and patrol stations are as well. And I issued an order earlier that should give us a small window of escape so we can pass through undetected.
But where are we going? Wow, he really hoodwinked the council, didn't he? They had no idea he was going to do all this. And he had all the power, you know. He could give orders and everything to give himself the advantage. He had access to information and all the resources. Wow, he really got one over on them.
You realize that we're on rather good terms with the Nomos, yes?
Wait, what? Are we going to one of the abandoned cities?
Perhaps Kinos or Eremos, eventually, or Kinisi. It's interesting they're still referred to that way.
I guess it's a holdover from the Civil War, when most of the people living in the wastes moved back to the domes.
Even so, they're hardly abandoned and empty. There's a thriving culture out there.
Really? But where are we going now?
A temporary stopping point, somewhere we can rest.
How do you even know your way around here?
As I said, Endgame still manages the wastes. It's not as if they never need our help. We keep peace out here too. So we have friends here.
He's being evasive about it again, but he somehow knew exactly where he was going. Ever since Ari and Caleb had pulled me off the street, I'd had repeated moments where life took a surreal turn. I wonder who this friend is that he's talking about. Meryl says it's a very good friend. Is it Jack? It's not Jack. Jack's the enemy. The things that were happening were outrageous and strange, yet somehow burned with the strange normalcy that came simply with happening. It was the bizarre dichotomy of not believing something was happening while witnessing it doing just that. Jack hates Magnus. Yeah, exactly. Jack wouldn't do any favors for Magnus. So it's a friend of Magnus's that MC doesn't know yet. Someone I haven't met, I'm guessing. Despite the novelty of all this, I was tired, and it was an outrageous finale to an outrageous, exhausting day. It was almost embarrassing to admit I fell asleep with my forehead pressed to the car window as a fascinating and an unfamiliar world passed by outside. No clear destination was ahead of us, at least not for me, and somehow I could never have predicted this development. All I could do was be swept along to wherever we were going, and hope it was safer than what we'd left. Chapter 12, Conflagration. It was probably early morning by the time we reached our destination, maybe just starting to get light out inside the domes. But we had long since left behind the simulated cycle of light and dark, now existing in that rosy glow that fell somewhere in between. The sun had been just above the horizon when we left the tunnels. It hung there, still, and the sudden quietness of the car jolted me awake. I realized the car had stopped. Where are we? I murmured the words, groggy and half alert, but at least remembering where I was instead of panicking at the lack of familiarity.
A friend's house.
What?
Come on. The wind is increasing. I believe there is a storm on the way.
That was what woke me up. I had never experienced one of the surface storms, but I heard things. They passed over the domes all the time, but we were never aware of them here, though. I could already feel the car shaking beneath the force of powerful gusts. But that didn't change that the environment was beautiful. Okay, we have to take a good look at this. Wow. Oh my gosh. So it's like a harsh environment, but a beautiful environment. This is stunning. Wow. Oh my gosh. What a nice location with fresh water. I hope that's drinkable water. The sunset or the sunrise. This is stunning. Wow. One of your favorite backgrounds ever. Seriously, it's one of mine too. This is amazing. Maybe I might have to make this one of my computer backgrounds. Sometimes, you know, I'll take backgrounds from games that I love and play and that I'm stunned by, and I'll turn them as my desktop wallpaper because I love them and I want to look at them. I think this one might have to be one of those. You know what? I need to take a screenshot really fast. But that didn't change that the environment was beautiful and enormous. The sky, the real sky, arched high overhead, and the sun lingered on the horizon, locked in place by whatever artificial force had stilled the planet's rotation. The night it would have dragged with it on any other world would never come. The wind in particular was new. There was never strong weather in the domes. The way it caught my hair and whipped it over my face while I tried desperately to catch it into a ponytail wasn't my favorite thing. But I would have stood there staring in awe if Magnus hadn't grabbed me and dragged me to the entrance of the habitat nearby. He didn't even knock. Wow, look at this place. Look at these fancy digs. I like how everything's like circular. The door slid open when we approached, and he pulled me inside as it closed behind us. There was a loud crack of thunder right as that happened. I yelped and jumped straight into Magnus, pushing him back against the door with a heavy thud. It took a moment to even realize what that was. Thunder! Bactus, hold me, Magnus! If we're living in a dorm, why does it have bad weather in there? Why does it rain inside of the dome? You know, because earlier on, there was a rainstorm and we were drenched. Why does that happen?
Goodness, are you all right? Not that I'm complaining about the sudden affection, but you're shaking.
They have artificial weather. But why, Esh? Is it for some reason that it's for humanity to feel more grounded? The light is artificial too. I knew that part. That's how they have night in the domes. They want it to feel natural. Are they trying to simulate Earth in particular? Because they all originally came from Earth. It's Matrix stuff. Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure what I thought that was. Magnus wrapped his arms around me. He's like, I will take the opportunity to hold you and canoodle. Let's make out some more. Yes, yes. It's likely only going to get louder from here. The storms are quite nasty, but I'll hug you the entire time if you need me to. Oh, yes. Hold me, Magnus. Don't let me go. Well, I doubt we want to stand in the door the whole time, though. Oh, right. I pulled away from him, looking around the home we'd entered. Where's this friend of yours? Hard to say. He was aware I was coming, so I'm not sure why he'd be out, or where he'd even be. Humans did not build the domes. They were built by the original inhabitants. They just wanted it to feel natural and have normal weather cycles. Oh, who were the original inhabitants? Were they from Earth? They weren't from Earth then. They were aliens. The original inhabitants of this planet, you mean? Who's responsible for the planet not turning? There was a greenhouse. Maybe he's there.
But surely he would have seen us arrive.
That's strange. How do you even know someone out here anyway? A friend, no less? Who is this person?
Well, I have only ever had 2 people I would have called extremely close friends.
As he spoke, I moved further into the room, taking it all in. There were so many plants everywhere.
One of them, as I told you, was King. The other was named Deimos.
Deimos? Magnus took a seat on the curved sofa, letting his head fall against the back of it.
Deimos was an F-class king from the night side of the planet.
Concerned the owner of this place was nowhere to be seen, I joined Magnus and perched on the edge of the sofa. Really? Another king? 3 kings! They 3 kings.
Technically, we were enemies, but only technically. We crossed paths a lot, especially when Endgame was clashing with Crimson.
Wait. So, he's that king rank that's in Crimson. The Aryans. The Aryans artificially title-locked it. The Philosans built the domes. Neither were actually native to the planet. Was there any group of people that were native to this planet? Or was everyone, at one point, visitors from across the stars? Want to save.
No, that king is Deimos' little brother. You can think of Deimos as the current king's predecessor. He was an odd man for a criminal. Though, I suppose one would have said the same for me back then, that I was odd for the leader of Endgame. In many ways, our interactions became more of a game, and we had an odd friendship.
The Senecans were the one native species. I think that's what I called them. It's been a while. You know what? I will take your word for it.
Deimos was killed around the same time as Sylvia, though.
Oh.
Or rather, that's what many believed when he vanished. I heard his family had proof of his death, but I never heard what that proof was. But he resurfaced, out here in the wastes.
And that's whose house we're in right now. So your friend Deimos lives here. Because if there were only 2 people Magnus called friend, and one of those was king, Magnus draped an arm over his eyes, seeming exhausted.
Yes, Deimos lives here.
And everyone thinks Deimos is dead. Oh my gosh. How in the world did he end up all the way here from the night side? He would have had to cross the sea.
All tunnels from one side to the other pass either over or under the sea.
Still, that's a long way to wander.
It is.
As always, there was a sense Magnus knew a lot more than he was saying.
Anyway, now and then, late at night, that guy and I still talk. I always struggled to connect with people who knew me before. The Magnus they cared for doesn't exist anymore, so I'm never quite certain how to interact.
I wonder what Magnus and Caleb's relationship was like before.
But Deimos isn't like that. He's also changed, I guess. He went through a lot.
I'm glad you've had someone to talk to sometimes.
Well, I'm glad that number has increased to include you.
His expression went sad again. Another crack of thunder sounded, rippling through the walls. I wrapped my arms around myself, feeling awkward as I sat back on the sofa and pulled my knees up. Storms were not as romantic as they were made out to be.
Don't worry, we'll be safe in here. The storms sound intimidating, but it'll be all right.
You sound like you've experienced them before.
I've been here before. In the wastes. Once.
How? I thought the council always kept you locked up in that tower. Yeah, that's what I thought.
They weren't always that protective of me. I went out a few times when I was younger. Their hold on me grew stronger as the years went by, until I was kept locked up at Cor Solaris all the time, like a princess in a tower, someone to be guarded and protected.
That's probably the reason why you have even more fuel to want to escape, you know? The more they held on to this man, the tighter they restricted him, the more he wanted freedom, you know? That's how it always goes. And then they created the very thing that they feared. You know? We always create our worst nightmares.
That day I sneaked out to meet you. Well, I guess I was just curious about this new queen I couldn't detect. I had no idea the person I was meeting would turn out to be you.
I thought you were just the weirdest man. I couldn't work out why you seemed so familiar. I guess I'd just seen your image somewhere before.
Perhaps it was some sort of fated meeting.
Oh, we're fated to be together. I like that. Obviously, if it wasn't, it wouldn't have happened.
That's such an unromantic way to look at it.
Magnus, I wanted to know about Lethe and everything else, but I wasn't sure now was a good time with the mood so strange. It might be best to let him bring it up on his own. Will you tell me about the storm you witnessed before? Will you tell me about the storm you witnessed before? At the last minute, I just couldn't say it. I would ask. But just not yet. For now, I would let that topic rest. Lethe, that's what we're not going to talk about Lethe, right?
Oh, curious or scared?
Curious about you more than the storm. I just want to know about your experiences. I know you don't remember many of them. He was up now and roaming around the place, opening the cabinets. Do you think Deimos is going to be okay with you poking around in his kitchen?
I'm sure he won't mind. I was just looking for tea.
We're going to be living here, right? Is this where we're going to be living long term? Or temporary? I guess he did say temporary. We're going to be here for a while. Where would he even get tea out here?
Well, the Nomos come by sometimes. You can trade with them. Besides, he's something of a botanist, a horticulturist. He grows things.
As I can see all around his place. Look, girl, look at all the plants. Yeah.
He might grow his own tea.
Yeah. That greenhouse was awfully small. I watched him poke through the kitchen, wondering if I really should ask about Lethe instead. It's probably a small greenhouse because it's just one man, you know? He's only feeding himself. But for now, I wasn't sure I wanted to take things in that direction. In any case, we'd have time to talk about it later. And any other plans he might have. So, you came out to the wastes before. I trailed off, realizing I'd stumbled right into the topic I'd been planning to avoid for now.
Before Veronica wiped my memories.
I've noticed you're not calling her Lethe anymore.
Well, that's her code name. Did you know it was a river in the underworld of an Earth mythos? The souls of the dead drink from it to forget their earthly lives.
The River Lethe, I did know about that. The river of forgetfulness in the underworld. The mythology of an ancient culture in a place eventually called the Hellenic Republic. I'm familiar with it. We had a unit in it in one of my classes.
You always seem to know about everything.
So why the change?
Well, She never liked that everyone was more inclined to use Lethe than her name, but it was more convenient to allow the council to believe her work was all that mattered to her. Especially in the last few years.
Wait, what?
My history goes back with her a long way, Rue, and it may surprise you to learn she had no great love for the council. They took everything from her as well.
But I didn't think you got along with her. She seemed so supportive of the council.
I wouldn't say we got along, and sometimes she is difficult to understand. But a show of support isn't the same as actual support.
That's what he's been doing this whole time, you know? He's been giving a good show. Wow, both of them. I'm shocked. You know what? I guess I judged Lethe wrong. Vanessa. No, that's not her name. Vanessa's her sister. Victoria. I already forgot her name. Well, hold on. Veronica. Thank you. Thank you, Justana.
In times like now, she leaves me confused. I don't understand her current actions.
The two of you always seemed at odds with one another.
Sometimes we are, but not as much as we let on.
I thought I understood you, but it seems there's a lot you didn't tell me after all.
I didn't know how.
I don't understand why it's complicated.
Because things usually are, I suppose. The truth is, when you joined Endgame, I thought it would be convenient that maybe I could use you to make a difference. To finally force things to change.
Use me?
The same way I use everyone else. Just a means to an end. That was how I saw you at first. Lethe saw you that way as well. That's why she worked to ensure you and the council would be at odds from the start. That was a plan I supported too.
Y'all! Oh my god! He'd had all of this planned out from the very beginning. This is before he realized he was going to be desperately in love with me. What? Y'all? Hold on a second. He planned on purpose for us to not get along with the council. He brought us in the way that he did. He's been behaving the way that he did. He's been supporting Lethe to treat us the way that she did, just to make us hate the council and come in there as an enemy. Am I getting this correct? Y'all? He has been lying to us from day one. Okay? Day one, lies. Now you know why he's the trash one. Magnus, did you know about when she came busting into my room at night, in the middle of the night? When Lethe came running into the room to attack us, okay? She came to her and her people to attack me in the middle of the night. Did you know about that? Did you set that up? Okay, when we were with the council the other time, okay? And then we magically turned on the comms. With the comm system. Magnus, was the council really the ones that didn't want me to contact my parents? But they said that they were. What? Did you tell them that? I forgot all this because I was eyeing someone else. Who were you eyeing? Oh, the baby. Master manipulation. Magnus is a genius, y'all. He's actually a genius. Yet, Magnus, did you know? How much did you know that you were just pretending like you knew nothing? How much?
But from the moment you arrived, I began to have doubts. I realized maybe you and I were a little alike. The more I got to know you, the less easy it was to use you that way. And yet here we are. Some things are difficult to stop once they've been set in motion, and it wasn't like I changed my mind right away. Lethe continued to drive a wedge between you and the council, long after my thinking changed, though.
I don't know I don't know if Lethe is my enemy or not anymore. Is Lethe my enemy or not? Oh my god. And does the council know what Lethe's been up to? Or has Lethe been blaming the council?
And when they went after you that night,
Okay, this is what we were talking about when they attacked.
I didn't expect them to do that. No, that is a lie. I expected them to do something like that, and I assumed you'd push back. And that would cause ripples that would allow me to overturn them from the shadows.
Magnus?
But when I saw you in your flat that day, I realized I couldn't continue. To me, you had already become something more than a pawn, but I figured you'd be hurt if you knew how I viewed you.
God.
Or what we were planning. I never cared about that with the others, but with you I cared a great deal.
You know what? I'm down bad for this man. Am I hurt? I'm more surprised than anything. I knew something was going to come down. And I've been suspicious that this man knew a lot more than he let on. And you've been hearing me say it all the rest of these streams, okay? Like, you know, did he know about that? Or like, that was a little weird. You know, like I've had little pings of like, And then sometimes Esh would be like, oh, pay attention to when he said that. You know what? After I play this game, I'm going to have to like go back and look over through some of the earlier dialogue and see like, you know, the hints, the clues. He's sad and that's okay. I knew you'd say it. Yeah, yes, exactly. You know how I think. Here's the thing. Did I know Magnus? You know what? Here's the thing, y'all. Magnus has been lying this entire time. Magnus has been scheming. Magnus has been using me as a pawn for his little plans, his little schemes. Magnus has created enemies in an environment where maybe I wouldn't have had those enemies. It's all been Magnus's doing. That said, okay. That said, don't judge me. I'm not mad. Genuinely, I'm not mad at him. I understand where he's coming from. And honestly, I think that council is full of shit. Okay? Even if he has been pulling the strings and he's been manipulating and he may not be the most trustworthy guy, now that we know he's a master gaslighter. We know that for sure. I still think that the council is worse. Whatever trash Magnus is, the council is 100 times worse than Magnus is. Okay? All right? The council is trash. The council is the one that's corrupt. The council is the one that created this environment in the first place. The council is the one that has been abusing children espers. The council is the one that has been abusing Magnus for his entire life, and Lethe. And the council is the one that's ultimately responsible for the death of the past queen. It's all been the council's fault. I don't blame Magnus. I don't blame him for doing what he's doing and what he did. I don't blame him at all. He's a sad boy. He's traumatized. He's innocent, okay? He's innocent. Okay, he may not be totally innocent. But he's, in my eyes, Magnus, I'm on your side, okay? I'm not hurt at all. You know what? Screw the council. I'm fine I will be your pawn. You know, I will volunteer to be your pawn and take that council down, or run away and live our lives in the woods together and make out every single day the rest of our lives. That I'm also okay with. Yep. Yeah.
See? Y'all agree with me. Y'all agree with me. You feel like he's just desperate and hurt from what happened to him. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Magnus is just a very manipulative, sad boy trying to unsad the world through his machinations. Exactly, Esh. That part. He's a sad, sad gaslighter. And look, listen, y'all, okay? I've seen his pain, okay? I've seen his tears. I held him and comforted him. You want to know what my number one favorite type of husbando and otome games are? My number one favorite, okay? Some of you think it's yanderes. It's not. I do like yanderes, though. I'm going to tell you what, my number one favorite type of husbando in otome games are sexy sad boys, okay? Traumatized sad boys, number one, okay? And they have to be hot, right? I don't like so much the sad boys that are like, there's sad boys that are like real young like, and I might like them, but I'm not like into them. They get head pats and hugs and ice cream and stuff, you know? Magnus is a man, okay? And a sad boy, and he's traumatized. He's exactly my type, and he's beautiful. He's everything I want. And he's a sociopath. He's broken, okay? He's broken and I can fix him. The council ordered the manner of MC's retrieval. Yeah, exactly. He was like, he said he ordered that earlier. It was the council, you know? The council ordered all of that. The council is responsible. Now, actually, I don't know if the council ordered the retrieval in that way or if he said that the council ordered him to order the retrieval in that way, because he did say that he made the order to the guard to kidnap us, basically. You know? I don't know if the council said, oh no, it really was the council. Oh, it was. Okay, because that could have been part of his plan too, you know? Like he could have been like, oh, we were just supposed to retrieve her nicely. You know, that could have been a thing. And then he'd been like, haha, but she'll hate them if we kidnap her. And then I tell them it's their fault. Okay, so the council really was responsible for that. The whole kidnapping thing. Gotcha. All right, y'all. He blames himself for everything. So taking responsibility for what they do and making people hate him is kind of a form of self-punishment. And that's exactly what he did. That's what he did. And he's done that multiple times in this, where he's taken on the blame for things that other people did that he didn't do. And he even did that just now, you know, when he was like, I didn't expect that they'd attack you in your bedroom. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? That's a lie. I kind of did. Like, he didn't know exactly that they were going. He can't read the future. He didn't really know that they were going to do that. He figured it was a possibility because he's smart and he didn't put any measures in place to stop it. But it wasn't him that did that, and he's not responsible exactly for that going down in that way. But he did take responsibility for that, which is an interesting thing about him. He's such a good, complex character. My gosh, he's really well written. And it's really like, now that there's a lot to analyze about him and his personality, what he thinks about himself, the way he treats other people. There's a lot to unpack with him. I'm really glad we chose his route for streaming because like, this is awesome. I love this. Okay, listen, Magnus, okay? Pookie Bear, I'm not mad at you. Okay? And maybe you might have done something in there for me to be mad at you, but I can't be mad at you for long. Look at him. He's too cute. Okay. He's giving me sad puppy eyes and I love him. So guess what? I'm not hurt. Just confused, I guess. What were you and Lethe planning? Using me to bait the council into doing something drastic so it would become a flashpoint for a revolution?
It was one of the many ways we'd thought to forcibly change the internal mechanisms of Endgame.
His punishment should be him letting you braid his hair and not makeup and put makeup on him. You know what? Sure. Yeah, I'll dress him up. Let me doll you up, Magnus.
Veronica did truly see you as a focal point for change. But things didn't go as planned. I grew afraid of using you that way. I wanted to stop. Veronica did not agree.
So, she tried to force my hand by putting me in danger again.
It seems that way. Or perhaps she was looking beyond that sort of plan all along.
Maybe she was trying to motivate you, not me. That's what you mean?
Perhaps.
So what now? Do we just keep running? Is that sustain? Magnus had a finger against my lips. Again, he did this when we first met him. He's like, shh, shh, shh.
I'm unsure what the future holds now, Rue. As much as I try to plan for everything, there's only so much I can do. I knew what might be necessary if I came here, something I wanted to avoid, but I have to see him first. Then I think I'll know where we should go and what we should do. Foremost is my desire to keep you safe.
Worry about yourself, too.
I will be fine. I just want you to know how much you matter to me. How sorry I am for...
He stopped, biting his lip as if unable to continue, to admit his part in everything. I hope you realize you matter to me as much as I matter to you. That was true in spite of everything else. And I can't say anything about who you used to be. I only care about the Magnus I know.
What if the man you know is a facade with nothing underneath it?
I don't believe that's true. I couldn't say I enjoyed hearing how plainly they intended to manipulate me. But the desperation to free himself from that stranglehold by any means necessary was also something I could sympathize with. It didn't mean I liked that I was the method, just that I understood it. It didn't change how much I'd come to care about him either.
Are you angry at me?
I don't know. Right now, my head is a mess.
Same. To think it's come to this.
I just wish you had told me all of this sooner. That I could have been a partner rather than a pawn. That's fair.
I suppose I didn't trust you to choose to be the former at all. And even eventually, the thought of you abandoning me and escaping alone was terrifying. And I was afraid to tell you the truth. Afraid of what you'd think of me.
I won't abandon you. I reached up to brush my fingers across his cheek. He covered my hand with his own, turning his head to kiss my palm. Oh.
For that, I am grateful. If anything is holding me aloft right now, it's you. If I deserve to drown, even if I deserve to drown.
You always say things like that.
Isn't it true?
Even if it was, I wouldn't let you. For a strange moment, as the storm outside swelled, it was just the two of us in the entire world, broken, frustrated, lost, and adrift. Despite everything, I realized if I'd left Corsolaris alone, I'd probably have been much worse off than I was with him. And if I stayed at the tower, I'd have been as well. This was the path that made the most sense then, and now. That surely grew within me, spreading as icy warmth that both reassured and frightened me. I wasn't surprised when Magnus leaned and kissed me, his shuddering breath ghosting over my lips a moment before we touched. It's time for more kissy. This has been like the most romantic of all the streams of this game so far. We're getting all the romance today. I might have been a reckless attempt to push the world away for a while. Let me read that again.
Oh, Lord, says Esh. I have to retreat. I cannot hear people read spice I've written. My soul will leave my body and escape into the aether. Come back later, okay? It's time for some spice. Yes. It might have been a reckless attempt to push the world away for a while. Or perhaps it was just because I hadn't pushed him away or rejected him after he finally unloaded that story to me. We'd trauma dump, and then we smash. Yes! I decided we would have to talk about a lot of things later. But for now, I wound my arms around him, letting the kiss sweep me away as well. With only unknowns ahead, I just wanted to live in this moment with him a little longer. Watch the guy who lives here, whatever his name is, watch him like show up in the middle of us canoodling. Like, oh, but you did it right in the middle of the living room, so Oh, wait, I should see if you actually get the spicy content. It may be point dependent. Oh, no, I really hope I do. With only unknowns ahead, I just wanted to live in this moment with him a little longer. It was possible he had been expecting me to push him away. There was a brief moment when it felt like the world held its breath. Then he leaned in closer, the kiss intensifying. His mouth opened against mine, tongues colliding, as his hands clasped the back of my head to pull me against him. His hair, soft and smooth, slipped through my fingers as I clung to him. I felt his teeth on my lower lip, nipping hard enough to elicit a surprised gasp before his lips pressed against mine again. Then his mouth abandoned mine to find the tender flesh of my throat. I had a moment of hesitation. My hand settled on his shoulders as I warred, with the sensation of him gently sucking at my skin, and the logic saying this was very, very fast. That this wasn't the best time for things to move to the next level. Magnus sensed the hesitation and pulled away. Dang it! Giving me a questioning look as he peered at me. I let out a shaky breath. Is this a good time for this? Maybe we should... Magnus leaned in, kissing me again, gently this time.
What if this is the only time we have?
What if your friend comes home? Yeah, that.
Then won't he be surprised?
Now I want that to happen. My poor boy. Oh God, Magnus does not care. He leaned again, his tongue flickering against the hollow of my throat. I let out a hiss, drawing a sharp breath between my teeth. I wanted this, but the mild worry of this being someone else's sofa was gnawing at me. That feeling was fading under the tender assault of Magnus' lips against my skin, though. Oh, congrats. You get to keep canoodling while I go get tea and try not to die inside. Yes! Yes, Meryl, yes, let's go! Surprised might be an understatement. Almost of its own accord, my head tipped back. A hand found its way to the back of his head again as his lips moved over my collarbone.
No one can travel in a storm like this. Wherever he is, he'll stay until the storm is done.
This is still a little abrupt. Magnus paused, then, and raised his head.
Is there a reason things have to happen slowly?
Well, isn't that how you make sure you're, sure?
I'm quite sure I'm doing what I want to do right now. Are you not?
Look at his face. Look at that expression on his face. He is so smug and like lusty right now. Yes. I studied his face in the warm lighting. His cheeks were flushed, lips reddened, hair a little mussed. I had been wanting this for a while, but I'd been afraid. And I still was in a way, though that reluctance was quickly dissolving. I know how I feel, but I'm still uncertain about you.
I love you.
He leaned in, his lips brushing against mine lightly at first, then with more force.
The reason I'm here with you now is because I love you. In this world where they took everything from me, I feel as though I finally have something again.
His lips moved to my ear, hot breath raising goosebumps on my flesh.
I want you. I haven't wanted anything for myself in so long. I'll suffer the pain of holding back as long as I need to.
His lips met the side of my neck.
As long as you want me to.
There hasn't been a single moment I've ever wanted you to suffer.
Then why do I feel like I'm dying when I'm with you? Even when I feel more alive than I ever have.
One of his hands slid just under the edge of my shirt.
I want you to experience that same strength of emotion for me, because no one else ever has.
I licked my lips nervously as his hands inched higher. Magnus raised his head again.
You what?
I am. My mouth had gone completely dry. It didn't feel like words would come. He leaned close, teeth finding the edge of my ear.
Say it. I want to hear it.
I want this. I want you.
His mouth closed over mine again.
And now there wasn't even the slightest hint of hesitance in his touch. A quiet moan escaped as his hands traced over my abdomen. I soon forgot where we were and why I'd been hesitating as he bared more skin before lifting his eyes to meet mine. Heat flushed my skin at the sight of him watching me reacting to his touch. And though I wasn't normally timid, the ravenous look in his eyes sent the heat of embarrassment to my cheeks. Our eyes met, and I caught a slight smirk as he deliberately lowered his head to kiss the valley between. His fingers traced fevered circles over my skin, both demanding and teasing. The intensity of his teeth and tongue rasping over me caused every breath to lodge in my throat, only to escape as a whimper. Magnus lifted himself up, this time removing his shirt. Y'all? It's a good steamy writing, Esh. Yes, it is. Very good. We like it. Thank you, Esh. Okay, we have another CG to take a look at. There we go. Okay, notice everybody? There's no nudity here, okay? Everybody got pants on, okay? Okay, YouTube? Oh, it's so romantic. He's so fine, like real. Especially right here. So is MC. Oh my god. Wait, aren't we still in some dude's living room? Yes, we are, Milky. We are in some dude's living room. I just imagine the friend comes like busting in right about now. That'd be hilarious. Also, it would suck if that happened. Now it was my turn to touch him. Every touch, every sensation was heightened. I ran my hands over his chest, somehow marveling at it, as if I'd never touched another person before. He was beautiful. Every time the lightning outside flashed, it cast his form in delicate light and shadow. I looked up at his face as my hands wandered over his torso. His head was tipped back, his eyes closed and lips parted as he released at each heavy breath. He's releasing his breath, okay? Okay? He opened his eyes, looking down at me with a half-lidded gaze. Magnus sucked his breath in, the tip of his tongue making its way to the edge of his lip. There was almost a smile on his face as he looked down at me. Something in his expression almost challenged me to continue. I pressed my mouth to his skin again. Yep. And then I lightly raked my nails over his skin as I dragged them back up. Yep, we scratched his back. You know, he couldn't control himself any further. The reservations I had about doing this in someone else's house faded as he leaned over me, his long hair falling silkily over one shoulder. I tipped my head back up to catch his lips. One of his hands snaked to the back of my neck, holding me to him as he kissed me, long and slow, sweeping his tongue against mine before drawing back, only to do it again with more force a second later. As he settled next to me. Yep, he's holding me, you know, lovingly holding us. We let out a hiss, you know. Yep, that happened. And then, yes, it was wonderful. And then we kissed again as he continued to slowly, you know, show how much he loves me deep down inside, you know. And it was kind of annoying that there was clothing involved because we're not naked. Yeah. Way too much clothing, we thought. And MC was like, you know what? We need to fix that. So then he was like, yes, Rue. Let's just fix that. I'm gonna look lovingly in your face as I do this, and then I'm gonna kiss you while I do that. Yup, replaced with urgent kisses, tender kisses. That's all we're doing. We're canoodling and kissing. Yup. Everything was soft and delicious, and, you know, we were real handsy. Yep. So Ash says, still not listening. Oh, also, we're admiring how muscular he is, you know. He's got muscles, you know, back muscles, side muscles, hip muscles, you know, he's hot. The strength of want blazed hot between us, and I was thankful for the sweet oblivion the heat of his body and kisses brought, even if only for a while. It could have been the culmination of a rough day and the need for comfort in one another, but I so badly wanted it to be more. It was more for me. Ah, that's so spicy. The hands. Yes. And later, the sound and sensation of him panting against my shoulder. Yeah, he does. He works out. He has stamina just on him. Yep, he's whispering in my ear now. Yearning and desperation, I could hear. Experience with him. I so hoped I could be the safe harbor for this man that he was for me. Yes, we're safety for each other. When the moment faded, only fierce protectiveness remained as he buried his face in my neck and quietly asked, if we could stay like that for a while. Twining my fingers in his hair as we lay side by side, I let him stay there, and I listened to the desolate wailing of wind outside. It was a long time before I spoke. As much as I would love to be here with you until you fall asleep, I don't believe we should be here like this until the storm ends. The surprise might be a little much for your friend. And I didn't know how to gently say I was not interested in leaving stains on his friend's sofa because that would be rude. Girl, she went there. Oh, God. I'll let you up. In any case, I suppose there's at least some enjoyment to be had from watching you get dressed. About that, I sat up as he gently moved aside. Do you think he'd mind if I took a shower? Magnus rested his chin on his hand as he watched me fish my shirt off the floor. I highly doubt it. Then I'll do that. All right. Woo. Spicy. You fed us well, Esh. You fed us well. I was almost too tired to shriek at myself about what I'd just done as soon as the door was shut. What was I thinking? I mean, earlier today I'd got attacked, I ran away from Endgame, and then I slept with Magnus on some stranger's sofa, no less. And we didn't even know if he was gonna bust in, you know. I couldn't even say that I'd lost my mind. That was a decision I knowingly made. Even so, I took a deep breath trying to calm down. I wouldn't regret it. Nope, no regrets. Though it's true, if we hadn't been forced to flee, and if we hadn't come here, it might not have happened. Yet, or maybe it would have. I shook off those thoughts and any lingering doubts, quickly washing up and changing back into the same clothes, because there was nothing else. By the time I left the shower, Magnus had snooped enough to find some tea. He brought me a cup, but held it out of reach long enough to lean in for another slow kiss. Resting his forehead against mine, he let out a soft sigh. I'm sure you're tired. There's a bedroom through here. It might be better to sleep there than here. I don't want to take someone else's bed. He has two. And a sofa. I think it'll be fine. As I took a sip of the tea, Magnus moved behind me, wrapping his arm around my waist and setting his chin on my shoulder. How strange that such a terrible day also turned out to end in such a lovely way. Are we confident that they won't find us here? I don't want to bring trouble to... I've been monitoring them the entire time. They may try to hide it, but they won't be able to. He kissed the side of my neck and gave me a gentle squeeze before releasing me. Don't worry about that and just try to rest. It was strange how different he was now that the wall was down. No one wants to sleep on that sofa yet. The sofa needs time to recover. Yes, it does. The sofa is still hot. I hoped this meant it was down for good. I finished the cup of tea, but exhaustion was catching up with me. It had been an eventful day. At Magnus' urging, I finally made my way to the bedroom and fell on the round mattress. We couldn't even, make our way to this bedroom before, you know. It was too urgent. This room is so cool. It's real swanky. I like the plants everywhere. It's a nice touch. Everything in this place is round. There's no hard edges. Everything's curved. Curved. A curved home. Curved edges. Curved cabinets. Curved seating. Curved windows. Curved doorways. Curved everything. Everything! It's very Art Deco. You know what just came to my mind? Skyrim. You know? Curved swords. They have curved swords. Remember that? Skyrim. As much as I hated to steal someone's bed. Maybe this is the guest room, you know? I was practically asleep by the time I sank into the warm bedding and curled myself around a pillow. Well, it's not exact, but very similar. You like the chair. I like that chair too. And I was barely aware of Magnus joining me, beyond feeling him stroking my hair as I finally fell asleep. Magnus! I love him! Chapter 13, A King's Attack. All right, y'all. I think we have 2 chapters left. We're going to save our game. Wow! Oh my gosh. This was definitely the steamy episode. I put all the steam in one stream. All of it. All of it. All the Magnus steam is in this stream right here. Actually, this might be my favorite couple of chapters. Not gonna lie. I do like romance, okay? I do like romance. And also, I don't blame Magnus. I don't think any of this is his fault. You know? All the crap that happened, it's the council's fault, not his. So, listen, I'm not mad at him. I love him, okay? He might be a red flag, but he's my red flag. He might be a trash bando, but I like that. And he's a sad boy. So, you know what? Bride Magnus. Okay? Bride. I love it. I love Magnus. He's top tier husbando for me. I love him. I don't understand the people who don't like him. Why? What's wrong with y'all? Why don't you like Magnus? He's top tier. He's peak, okay? He's epic. He's everything. He's perfect. I love him. I love him. I'm with Jambi on this one. Yes to Magnus. Well, I have 2 chapters left. Dang it, Esh. I might find out. No, Magnus, don't betray us. Don't betray me, Magnus. Okay? Not now, please. You're just so wonderful. All right, we're going to find out what's about to happen next time.